Okay, hello people. I'm gonna have to keep this moving swiftly on. So, because the videos are 10 minutes long. Question 2. Has the suspect engaged in harassment on previous occasions? You and or anyone else? One of the best predictors of future behavior is past behavior, and stalkers are no exception to this general rule. Those who stalk strangers and public figures are particularly prone to serial stalking. Des at L. 1991, A.B. Shading 2001. Even though the victim may not know the stalker very well, she or he may be aware of a local reputation that the stalker has for this type of behavior. Stalkers may also seem to stop stalking their victim, usually for reasons unclear to anyone, but the stalker, usually for reasons unclear to anyone but the stalker, only to suddenly resume the harassment at a later date. Question 3. Has the suspect ever or destroyed or vandalized your property? Various studies have identified that a sizable proportion of stalkers, up to 2/3, will damage their victim's property. Blue at L. 2002. And this includes stalking engaged in by adolescents. McCann 2000. Property damage may be associated with rage or frustration, revenge, a desire to harm something the victim cares about, i.e., destroying wedding photographs, a wish to undermine her belief in a safe environment, i.e., by cutting brake cables, as a form of threats, or it may be connected with breaking and entering the victim's property or spying on the victim. Property damage has been identified by researchers as preceding or concurring with physical attacks on the victims. Hammond et al. 1995 and 1998. Does the suspects visit you at work or home more than 3 times per week? Stalking rarely takes place entirely at a distance. Research tells us that nearly all stalking cases will ultimately involve face-to-face contact between victim and stalker. Mullen et al. 2000. Some stalkers may appear or approach their victims regularly, i.e., on the victim's daily route to work. Others, particularly stalkers with an obvious mental illness, will appear in diverse places at unpredictable times. Shading and Boone 2002. The research informs us that those stalkers who visit the victim's home, workplace, or other places frequented by the victims more than 3 times in a week are those who are most likely to attack. It should be borne in mind, however, that some stalkers will have no regular pattern of harassment, and in such cases, an average of stalker visits could be estimated. Question 5. Has the suspect loitered around your home, workplace, etc.? Most stalkers will be seen by their victims. The positive aspect of this is that evidence can be collected, particularly if the victim keeps stalker sightings and behaviors. Stalkers who loiter around places frequented by the victims tend to be those who are most likely to attack their victim. Such stalkers may be compiling victim-related information or tracking the victim's habits. Whether secretive or overt, whether mentally disordered or not, most stalkers will share a belief that their behavior is an appropriate response to circumstances. Question 6. Has the suspect made any threats of physical or sexual violence in this current harassment incident? Stalkers frequently threaten their victims either directly or indirectly. Examples of indirect threats include sending wreath or violent images to the victims, often anonymously. Stalkers will often make specific written or verbal threats. However, and research demonstrates that these should be taken particularly seriously. Stalkers have been known to threaten violence months or even years into the future and have indeed followed through on their threats. Has the suspect harassed any third party since the harassment began, i.e., friends, family, children, colleagues, partners, neighbors of the victim? In the majority of stalking cases, secondary victims will be identified, although stalkers may stalk more than one person at a time. This question relates to associates of a primary victim. Stalkers will involve third parties for several reasons. Okay, we're going to stop it there, and we're going to move on to the next video very soon. Thank you very much. Hold on, I'll be with you back in just a minute. Thank you.